everyone, it's been long overdue, but I'm finally doing it. I asked you guys a couple months ago if you had any questions about my most recent album, Tainted Timeline, and I haven't really had time to answer it. As you can probably tell, the background is a little bit different because I moved house about a month ago, and the month before that I released a new album with my band, The Violet Stones, so it's been a little bit crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna answer some questions now. But real quickly, before we start, if any of you guys live in Sydney, I'm playing a show on the 28th of February at the Factory Theatre, and it would be amazing if you could come because this is my first time playing live as a solo act. I'm gonna have a band backing me and it's gonna be great. Tickets are $35 and dinner and drinks is included in that one. I'll put the link in the description, so yeah, hope to see you there. So this first question's from Elise's The Grunge. Hi Sarah, I'd like to know why you don't use the vocal drive technique. So I guess you're referring to like distortion. It's just something that is not natural for me, and I have tried, and there are some times where I can get a little bit of it, but it's like a fine line between it hurting my voice. I have tried to explore it, I guess, a bit, but it's hard. I can actually do I think it's called a false chord scream, but I really struggle mixing it in with my singing voice, and it's just something that I have to keep exploring. It's not something that I can just do. Like, it's something that I will have to build up, and it will probably take years for me to be able to do it. I just haven't really had the time to build it up, I guess. I also don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol that often. So, maybe that's a reason why some people can scream. I don't know. This question's from Panos KR. Hi Sarah, I want to make a song album too, but I find it difficult to create an album cover art. What do you suggest? I guess it's just all up to what you're after. Because I have both made album covers myself. For example, Tainted Timeline, I did the whole artwork for that album, but majority of the other cover arts that I do, I get someone else to do it just because I think it looks better. Because I'm a musician first, I'm not an artist, so I guess if you're never happy with what you create, don't be afraid to reach out to someone else to get them to do it. You don't have to do everything. And this question's from I'm not a lady or a bird. What's the name of the cat? So I think they're referring to the cat on the front. Hang on, so the cat on the cover, its name is Suki. This photo was taken, that was probably even before I was born. So Suki is not alive anymore. But yeah, that was its name. And the next question is from Logan Mola. Did you play all the instruments or do you have a band for this album? Ever since I got into Nirvana and Foo Fighters, I've always wanted to do what Dave Grohl did on the first Foo Fighters album. I've always had this, I guess, motivation to play drums and all the other instruments on an album. I almost did that, but I guess for me, there's like a limitation to my skills, I guess, and I just couldn't think of different ideas for some of the songs, so I ended up getting 3 other drummers to play on it, but I played on the majority of just get the track list out because I have forgotten what songs are on here. So I played drums on Sleepwalking, Cross Contaminate, Control, Rest, Marry, Bully, and Bully. And I got my partner, who is currently playing drums at the moment, if you can hear it. He played on August and Cut My Teeth. And my dad actually played on Poison. And Mate, who is the ex-Violet Stones drummer, he played on Suffocate. And as for all the other instruments, I played all the guitars and bass and piano. And singing, obviously. And this question is from Richard BZ. Who do you draw inspiration from to write the songs? So inspiration comes from all these different places for me. A lot of the inspiration comes from just life experiences. And a lot of them come from social issues, like something will happen in my life and it'll just annoy me. So I'm like, I have to write about this. And other times I could be listening to some music and it just inspires me, like I want to write like this. And this sort of ties into this other question I wanted to answer. This question's from Brent Cummings. What inspired you on the lyrics for The Kids? So The Kids was, the way I wrote it was a bit different. I think I was recording at the time and I just started playing these 2 chords and I think I wrote it, the whole song, in about 2 minutes or something. It came out really naturally because it's something I'm really passionate about, just gender inequality, and especially the way society wants to raise boys and girls differently, and it just like raises a whole bunch of different issues. That's something I'm really passionate about, and so it was so easy to write. And I thought the lyrics were really obvious about like what it's about. It's just about how boys and girls are treated differently when they're growing up. They're expected to do different things, and yeah, just causes issues later on. This next question's from Benedict Kiss. What's your favorite song from the album, and which one was the hardest to write? My favorite song on the album was probably Suffocate. I know I've said this so many times, but I think it's just because it changed so dramatically over the recording process. I had written it, and it was originally going to be just acoustic, but as I started recording it, I wanted to build on it to make it, I guess, bigger, and it turned into something that I didn't intentionally mean it to. I just kept building, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna add this. It became what it became. I think it's, I don't know, it's just really big and feels really emotional. And the hardest to write, I guess none of these songs are really hard to write. When I write, I don't force it most of the time. When I'm like having writer's block, sometimes I do force it, but most of the time I don't try and force it. Otherwise, I'm not gonna like what comes out. So a lot of these songs just flows out. Definitely the hardest to record was Rest. I'm really fussy with my vocals, and I want it as natural and like as best sounding as it could be. And every time I would record the vocals, I was never happy with it. So it took me maybe a month to actually be happy with the vocals. Yeah, so that was definitely the hardest to record. And this question is from Alex Cordova. How long have you been vegan? I've been vegan for around 2 years now. I can't see going back ever. But yeah, one of the best decisions I've ever made. And I'm privileged enough to be able to do it. And I probably wouldn't have been able to do it without my partner, because he cooks and I am a terrible cook. And he is also vegan, which is really cool. And this next question's from Isabella V. Jackson. Not necessarily about the album, but what is your main motive for music, and how do you stay motivated? I love your music. Thank you. Sometimes it does get a little bit hard to stay motivated, especially when I'm not getting the views or I'm not getting how many streams I aimed for, and it kind of feels like I'm not reaching my potential. But honestly, at some point, it's you guys who make me stay motivated, knowing that it's like one person's gonna enjoy what I put out, and all the messages that I get from you guys saying that your music has like impacted you in ways that I never thought it would. Really, it makes me feel really good. And like, I'm just lucky to have this opportunity, to have this platform with you guys watching. So thank you so much. This next question is from Juliet_PGs. Do you feel like you've evolved, and how do you think you'll evolve music-wise? Type of music in the future, etc. I think I have evolved from just the typical grunge, I guess. I categorize my songs. As you guys know, I have different projects, and whenever I write a song, I sort of place it in one of those projects, but I'm starting to listen to, I guess, different music. So genres are not real. I'm getting really into Porcupine Tree, Fugazi, like Slint, less grunge. Grunge is still like that's my genre, but it's drifting to more lighter, I guess, like alternative, post-rocky, anything that's a little bit more heavy, grungy, I would stick with in the Violet Stones. I hope that answered your question. Okay, this question's from Max.Skaterboy. What was your favorite Taylor Swift song growing up? If you guys haven't watched my previous Q&As or any interviews with me, I used to like Taylor Swift. That was the reason why I started playing guitar, essentially. And I still listen to her. Sorry. My favorite song of hers growing up. Let me just bring up her albums. I've forgotten. It was so long ago. I really like the song State of Grace. Oh, my favorite song was Haunted. If you listen some like old school pop music, like Haunted, that song could be heavy. Like, it's a pop song, but the production makes it sound like a pop song. It's like a little bit heavy, which is like cool. Okay, and that's all the questions that I'm going to answer for this one. Thank you so much for watching this whole thing. Yeah, thank you for all your support on my latest album, and yeah, I can't wait to show you guys what I've been working on. So stay tuned. Bye.